All eyes this evening are on Canton, Ohio, and the Canton Classics as they hit primetime here at Fatherhood Festival Field from Canton, Ohio, and here on the Monday Night Spectacular Season 21 Week 6 edition. Welcome to Canton, Ohio, where tonight we have the 2-2 Canton Classics, the 1-3 Charleston Predators getting set to square off. Alongside Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine with Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis back at SFL Studios, Greg Soto and Gerald Smith in the stat truck. We're ready for a good one tonight here. Paulie, welcome back into the booth. And what are your keys for tonight's game?
Oh, Cam, it's going to be a good one here. You have the Charleston offense who is lighting it up through the air this season. #1 rated passing offense in the league, but their defense has allowed 38.3 points per game, so the defense is definitely going to have to step up. On the flip side, you have Canton, who's defensively has only allowed 98 points this season, which is 8th in the league, but have only scored 89 points on offense. Big emphasis on the rush game for Canton, and not so much emphasis on the passing game, so I'm excited to see both of these teams go to battle here tonight with you, Cam. Let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Indeed, Charleston is going to get the ball to start this football game. The Predators in the black helmets, white jerseys, red pants. Canton in their blue helmets, blue tops, gold pants. We are underway from Fatherhood Festival Field. And from 1 yard deep inside the goal line, Charleston on the return, past the 30 to the 32. That's where Honus Adobe gets it for the Preds, and that's where Charleston will set up on their first offensive possession. John Lakeman is their quarterback, who leads the league in passing yards per game.
John Lakeman having a fantastic start to his season, 79 for 135. 1,216 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. The only flaw on his stat line is the 6 interceptions that he's thrown so far. So that is definitely going to have to be something that Lakeman is going to have to limit to help his team win this game tonight.
Lakeman calls Davius Reed in motion, and they'll have all 3 receivers off to the left side. Canton playing his own with 7 in a tall box. Lakeman under center will drop the pass to start the ball game, and that is complete. Near a first down, a pickup of 8 to the 40-yard line. That's Benjamin Warner, the former Portland Fleet member, with the reception, picking up 8.
It's a good first reception for Warner. It's his 19th on the season. The leading receiver with 335 yards for this Predators offense.
This Predators offense is deep and talented despite their 1-3 start. Lakeman will hand it off to Nick Hoagland, and Nick Hoagland's got a first down to the 45-yard line. Let us try and meet all of these Predators on offense. John Lakeman, the quarterback. Saren Storm, Nick Hoagland, the dynamic running back duo. Don't forget about fullback Terrell Sutherland. Wide receivers are Honus Adobe, Davius Reed, Benjamin Warner, and Ricky Spider. Tight ends, Lion Trees, Romeo June, and Brian Murphy. And up front, tackles DeBrickashaw Molyneux, Lamarcus Jamarcus Fourth Jr., Leroy James, Finley James, and St. Nebuchadnezzar. First down for Charleston as Saren Storm breaks off a tackle and gets the ball to midfield, a 4-yard pickup.
That is just an extremely impressive delivery on the offensive lineman, named one of the best teams with names for offensive linemen, and a big factor in this offense as they've allowed John Lakeman to have endless time throwing in the pocket all season long.
And correction, that was Terrell Sutherland on that first carry, and Sutherland gets the second carry here to set up a 3rd down and 1. So Charleston early on playing keep away from this Canton defense, which we will meet now on the defensive line. Chris Porter, Mike All, LL Volt, and Jabril Curse. Linebackers are Mark Gronick, Dimitri Monzuma, Ace Singletary, and Kevin Brackett. In your secondary, Evan Lacey, Connor Darien, Frank Bernstein, Joshua Durr, Kanye Rockefeller, and King Jamal. Canton is coached by Ray Donaldson and his staff as Terrell Sutherland picks up a first down to the Canton 40-yard line.
And that's what's so interesting about this Charleston offense is the way that they spread the ball out to their running backs. You have Saren Storm with 27 carries, Nick Hoagland with 58, and Terrell Sutherland with 21 of his own up to this point. So that's just a big key point that they are looking to do is spread the love to all of their great running backs that they have in the backfield.
Davius Reed goes in motion as Lakeman will drop the pass.
Oh.
That pass is deflected and falls incomplete. First incompletion of the game. It's Kevin Brackett with the breakup to set up a 2nd and 10 and put Charleston behind the chains for the first time.
That is a great defensive play there from Kevin Brackett, getting his 2nd pass deflection on the season. Almost had a chance to force an interception there on that play, but we're going to see here on 2nd and 10, see how John Lakeman is going to get back to it.
They send Nick Hoagland in motion. Off to the right of Lakeman. Lakeman back to pass. Lakeman dumps it off short. That's the tight end, Brian Murphy, with the catch. So Lakeman's off to a 2-for-3 start, and the opening drive continues nearly 3 minutes now, 3rd and 3.
That was a great job from Lakeman there. He had a lot of pressure building up there. Almost took a sack, but staying in the pocket, putting it right on the money for his receiver. You have 3rd and 3 here.
High formation, Lakeman to throw. Lakeman, clean pocket, deep down the field, caught by Davius Reed, down to the 10, 1st and goal, Charleston, as Lakeman stands tall and delivers another first down, 3 for 4 to start.
The 12-season veteran Davius Reed going up there and snagging it there. Beautiful throw there, even better catch going up against the defender there, as Charleston is now in the red zone, 1st and goal, with a chance for the early score here in the 1st quarter.
Charleston has not won since week 1, where they got an impressive 31-28 victory against DC. That was also on the road. This is Charleston's 4th road game in the first 5 weeks, as Lakeman goes down, sacked from behind on the blind side. Chris Porter, who's also a talented coach on the staff in his own right, brings up 2nd and goal as he points to the muscles.
And what a great play there after that last play. Almost had Lakeman brought down again, but a great job there from Porter. That's his 3rd sack on the season. Coming into the night, he was 17th in the league, tied with 2. Now moving on up with 3, and a great play there to move Charleston back.
I'm so jealous of Porter. When was the last time you pointed to your muscles as Lakeman hits Reed down to the 5-yard line to set up a 3rd and goal? The last time I was proud of him was in high school, Paul. I don't know about you.
Hey, oh boy, it's been a while, I'll tell you that.
So 3rd down and goal. Canton has an opportunity here to get off the field after giving up just a field goal. Maybe they can even force a turnover. 4 minutes to go in the 1st. 2 in the backfield, including Sutherland and Hoagland, as Lakeman fires end zone. Touchdown. Benjamin Warner inside with the score, and Charleston starts the game off with 6 points.
What a gutsy throw there from Lakeman, finding Benjamin Warner for his 3rd touchdown on the season. Charleston Predators off to a hot start, driving down the field methodically. Canton Classics defense with no answer on that opening drive.
Extra point coming for Charleston. Their kicker is Brad Brechet. Their punter, Eric Blueberry. That extra point is good. 11 play, 69-yard, 4-minute, 6-second drive for Charleston. They take an early 7-0 lead. Warner says, "Hi, Mom. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved." Canton on the return from the 2. It's Al Dillapre Sr. getting it up to the 29-yard line, and we meet Scar Patterson, the quarterback for San Diego.
And I'm excited to see how Scar Patterson is going to answer after an impressive drive from John Lakeman and the Predators, as this offense, man, they have weapons all over the field. Scar Patterson, 1st season with the team. Numbers don't jump off the board here, Cam, but he's a former All-Star for a reason. Extremely impressive player.
Charleston's opening drive was impressive. This is a top 10 scoring defense for Canton. Don't give up a lot of points on early drives this season. Hunter goes in motion, the fullback, as Scar Patterson unleashes down the field. That pass is complete to Mike Twinscrew near midfield, a pickup of 20 and a Canton first down.
And I like the aggressiveness here right off the jump for Canton, as Scar Patterson knows he has Mike Twinscrew on the outside, trusting his speed, throwing it up there, and Mike Twinscrew with a nice catch to bring it down. 20 yards, first play on offense for the Classics.
Canton offense to the bottom of your screen. Scar Patterson, Robert Johnson, Kane Hunter, Toriano Rivera in the backfield. Receivers Ryan Owens, Andrew Gibson, Al Dillapre Sr., Bob Lung, and Mike Twinscrew. Tight end is Jack Wall. The offensive line led by Jacques Pancake, Max Van Linge, Adam Chance, and Girth Lord. That's a 2-yard loss to Robert Johnson, the running back, wrapped up in the backfield by John Lally, 2nd and 12.
Robert Johnson is definitely someone you want to keep your eyes on. 141 carries coming into tonight with 588 yards, 4th in carries, 9th in yards through 4 games and 5 weeks of action in the SFL.
Owens in motion for Canton on their first 2nd and long of the ball game. 4:50 to go in the first quarter, and Patterson hits Owens, coming across for a pickup of 9. Sets up a 3rd down and 3. Canton is a 3.5-point favorite here at home, according to Jack's data. Over-under small tonight, 48.5. Expecting some strong defensive play here in this one.
And going back to that last play, Ryan Owens, a key addition this offseason, making his way over from the Arizona Scorpions, making an impact early.
Patterson to throw, has to dump it off quick due to the pressure, and the pass is caught by Jack Wall. Coach Donaldson on the sideline, loving that. A really nice read from Patterson, who otherwise may have been sacked.
Hashtag throw it to the tight end. Not only is Jack Wall a world-renowned podcast segment host with Random Calls with Jack Wall, he's out here extending drives and making plays for this offense.
Robert Johnson takes the handoff, a 2-yard gain. We're just throwing around world-renowned now, aren't we? Everybody is. Khalil Thomas on the tackle.
That's just a great stop there on first down, only allowing up 2 yards after a nice catch there from Wall. Things slowing down a little bit for this Classics offense. We're going to see here 2nd and 8.
Hand off, Robert Johnson. He cuts it back inside, and that's where Khalil Thomas meets him. It'll set up a 3rd down and 4. This Charleston Predator defense has Thomas Matthews, Anthony Robertson, John Lally, and Robert Cherry on the line. Linebackers Jack Brown, Mo John Tana, Gino McFly, the former #1 pick, and Khalil Thomas. And in the secondary, Mark Martin, J.W. Hartshorn, Corey Menner, Matt Ryan, Sam Blotner, John Stamengo, and Guy Incognito. Patterson on 3rd down, launches it far side, and Twinscrew dives for it and completes it at the 21-yard line. Pretty throw from Scar once again.
Absolutely, and going right back to Mike Twinscrew after 21 yards on the first play. Why not go right back to him? Running a great route there. Throws right on the money. Going out of, thought he went out of bounds, but clock's rolling on. Great play there from Twinscrew.
Gets that shoulder in, gets the hands under the ball right before it hits the grass. Patterson low and away just like you should, and he's off to a perfect 4-for-4 start for 47 yards. Just outside the red zone, handoff to Johnson, and Johnson is gobbled up in the backfield. Robert Cherry with the takedown. That'll set up a 2nd and 9.
And so far on this drive, the Predators defense doing a pretty good job so far of limiting Robert Johnson to virtually no yards. 5 yards on 4 attempts, averaging 1.3 on this opening drive.
Milton Butler, we see you out there. Appreciate you. That ball off the helmet of a defender. That pass is incomplete. First incompletion of the game. A multitude of Predators in coverage there. Will set up a 3rd and 9.
And I'm interested to see if they're going to go back to that first play of the drive and be a little bit more aggressive, try to take a deep end zone shot here, or see if they're just trying to move the chains and work their way further into the red zone.
Patterson against a blitz, has to dump it off, gets a block. Kane Hunter inside the 10, Hunter inside the 5. Hunter steps out of bounds at the 2-yard line after he was forced out of bounds. But a terrific read, or check that, Toriano Rivera with the catch. A terrific read from Scar Patterson under pressure.
Rivera also coming over from Arizona this offseason, but a great read and awareness from Scar Patterson there, throwing it out to your running back. Rivera, as he makes a couple people miss here, gets the first down, and gets all the way to the 1 yard line, and it creating an opportunity that was almost limited to a field goal there. Great play there from Canton.
Stamango pushed him out. Charleston's opening drive was over 4 minutes. Canton's opening drive nearly 4 minutes at this point. From the 1 yard line, Robert Johnson, no problem, into the end zone, touchdown, Canton, and we're an extra point away from being tied.
Robert Johnson is a bad man. 6 touchdowns on the season as Canton answers an impressive opening drive for Charleston and is putting the ball right back into the hands of John Lakeman. And I know Jack's data is presenting a little bit of a lower line, thinking defense is going to step up. As what we're seeing right now, Cam, it might be a high-scoring game tonight.
Yeah, you know, it was a little surprising, given that Charleston's defense has not been particularly good so far this season. Another 11-play drive, so back-to-back 11-play drives start this game. But it's worth noting that if every team takes 4 minutes to score, maybe we will hit the under, despite all the touchdowns.
Absolutely, and both teams with extremely impressive drives to start this ball game. It's a brand new game, tied 7-7 as we end this first quarter.
They'll be on the return up to the 26-yard line. That's where Charleston will set up for their second possession. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. First down at the 26. Second possession following a pulling lineman. Gives it off to Hoagland, but nothing there.
Kevin Brackett again. We saw him earlier on the last drive making a couple tackles, getting right back at it. 2nd and 10 here for Charleston.
Rockefeller with 3 tackles on that opening possession for Canton's defense. Lakeman's off to a 5 for 6 for 51 start. Patterson Lakeman against a blitzer, finds Benjamin Warner for the catch for a first down to the 42-yard line as Benjamin Warner continues his stellar start tonight.
Absolutely, definitely off to a hot start, and it looked like King Jamal just jumped the throw a little bit, wasn't able to get there a little bit early, allowing Warner to extend the drive. 1st and 10, Charleston Predators.
Warner 3 catches, 29 yards, and a touch so far. Tie game at 7, handoff Hoagland, and Hoagland is picked up and thrown down for an official loss of 1. 2nd and long coming up.
What a big hit there. Man, taking an absolute stunner on that 1st and 10 play. Going backwards, not what Charleston's looking to do, as we see no running backs out there. Lakeman looking to air it out.
Lakeman almost went right into a sack and throws an interception. That pass picked off by Evan Lacey. Evan Lacey inside the 20, 15, 10. Lacey being chased by Lakeman and ushered out of bounds of the 4. Lacey in front of the home crowd with a pick, nearly pick 6. And Canton set up with excellent field position.
How about that play from Evan Lacey, the 6th-season veteran, one-time All-Star last season, making an incredible play there, picking that ball off and trying to take it to the house, trying to run faster than the lineman beats him. But Lakeman, great job there to not give up on that play and force Evan Lacey out of bounds to create a chance for your defense to maybe possibly hold them to a field goal or create a turnover themselves. But what a play there from Lacey.
Yeah, Lakeman essentially forced Lacey back inside to where he had some help. Didn't make the tackle, but his hustle is noted. Now Canton with a 1st and goal at the 4. It's Lacey's first interception of the season. He's the 4th classic with a pick on the year. 37 seconds to go in the first. Tied at 7. Handoff, Robert Johnson just stood up at the goal line. We'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Defense is kind of on the heels of their feet here, trying to bend and not break after a nice interception from Lacey, creating great field position for Canton. Robert Johnson getting extremely close to creating Canton's first lead of the game.
And it would be his 2nd touchdown of the game. Johnson didn't get it.
Oh.
Jumped too early and is stood up by Anthony Robertson for a TFL. Johnson getting a little bit too cocky there at the goal line, and that ends the first quarter with Charleston trying to make a goal line stand off of an Evan Lacey interception. We're tied at 7. This is the Monday Night Spectacular presented by APM Music here on SFL YouTube.
How about that? Anthony Robertson not afraid to go after Robert Johnson like that, meeting him in midair and bringing him down for a tackle for loss.
So now it's 3rd and goal. Can Charleston stand tall? Johnson got it, walked it in. It's so difficult to get 3 straight stops inside the 10. Robert Johnson with a tutty, and we're tied, or Canton rather, takes the lead, 13-7 with an extra point penalty.
And I'll tell you what, Cam, Robert Johnson is out here having himself a mighty splendid game so far.
You know, I had totally forgotten about that and all of the I gotta be better, Paul. I gotta be better.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was my 3rd opportunity to say it, and I was kind of expecting when you introduced us that I was gonna be asked how I was doing, and I was gonna drop it right off the bat, but had to wait there for Robert Johnson, extending this lead, 7-point ball game in favor of the Classics, as John Lakeman has a chance after an interception to go back down the field and tie this game up.
What's a broadcast partner for, huh? if not to make sure that he honors the $9.99 super chat throughout the ball game. This kick is going to go out of the back of the end zone. Nearly went through the uprights. You know, I saw a kick earlier. It was either earlier this week or last week, Paul. The wind was blowing so hard that the kickoff actually hit the upright, and it actually hit it. It doinked off the right upright. I've never seen that before.
It just shows the skill sets that these SFL kickers have, able to hit the field goal post and more with the power that they have in their legs.
So after Lakeman threw the interception, I think Mike All scared him just a bit into overthrowing that pass. They'll give Saren Storm his 2nd carry of the night. Nick Hoagland just -1 yards on 2 carries, and the 2 running backs in the backfield so far just over positive yardage.
And I'd be a little scared seeing Mike All come after me as well. I've seen him get after a quarterback in the flag football game in Covington, and man, impressive.
Oh, nearly another interception. Sutherland with that, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. Sutherland was on that carry for did Hoagland used to wear 33 or something? I don't know what's messing with me, but now a 3rd down and 5 as Lakeman's last 2 passes have been extremely dangerous.
Absolutely, and we're going to see here 3rd and 5 after Lakeman's losing a little bit of momentum. We're going to see a 5-receiver set and a chance to extend this drive a bit longer.
Empty backfield. Charleston is manned up, or Canton is manned up rather, as Frank Bernstein goes and chases. Lakeman against a 5-man rush, fires down the field. That's caught for a 1st down. Brian Murphy against Kevin Brackett. That's his 2nd reception, and Charleston keeps the drive alive.
A nice throw there from Lakeman, putting it out there for his receiver, and his receiver bringing it down. Brian Murphy with his 2nd reception, 24 yards so far on 3 attempts, averaging 12 yards a catch. Great play there from this Predators offense.
Cant's up 14-7, trying to get to 3-2. If they do, they would take over or regain first place in the North. That is Nick Hoagland on the toss, and he'll pick up 8 near midfield. First time we've seen Charleston bust that out so far tonight, and it's effective.
Yeah, the best run for Hoagland so far, 8 yards there. Previously had -1 yards on 2 carries, so Hoagland starting to get rolling here, the leading rusher for the team, so not getting that much of a workload here to start, but after an impressive run there, let's see if he's going to continue with this momentum.
Best run for any player in this game so far as Lakeman hands it off. That's Sutherland, got the first down, and will keep the chains moving. So both of these teams, kind of as expected, right, Paul? We expect a grinded out football game here tonight with 2 very talented teams. It's anybody's game.
Absolutely, and that was a hard-fought 3 yards from Sutherland there to get that first down for his team.
8:08 to go in the first half as John Lakeman fires down the field. That pass is incomplete. Bring up a 2nd down and 10, tight coverage down the field. Connor Darien talking with teammate King Jamal about that coverage, 2nd and long.
Another risky throw there from Lakeman, and got to just highlight the hustle at the end of that play. Kanye Rockefeller not refusing to accept that was a dead ball, going after it, trying to make a play.
2nd down and 10. Sutherland goes in motion. Handoff inside. That's Nick Hoagland, making it a more manageable 3rd down. Happy Labor Day to all those who didn't have to work today. Thanks to all of our city and government officials and employees. Happy Labor Day in Canada. And for people like T. Roy Gaines and myself and you, Paul, well, it's just another Monday, but we appreciate those who got the day off.
Absolutely. Appreciate everyone. Got out a little bit early today, so can't be mad at that.
3rd and 3, handoff. Sutherland not going to get there.
Ooh.
They're going to mark him 4th and 1. That's an important designation if Charleston wants to go for it. A generous spot. Donaldson happy with the defense. Let's see what Charleston does. They're going to punt.
Yeah, just right outside of field goal range. If you find yourselves down 7 points, it's still early in this ball game, so they're trying to put some faith into their defense to get a stop. But if I'm Charleston, I might possibly think about going for that.
This punt is doinked off the side of the foot, but it will take a hop inside the 20-yard line. Incognito puts it down for Charleston. So not the exact punt they were hoping for, but they do pin Canton back a lot deeper than they were on their last possession after Evan Lacey returned it to the 4.
Yeah, I'm sure if I'm Canton, I would like to start every drive on the opposing 4-yard line, but on the 20 here for this drive, you already have a 7-point lead, so let's see if they're just going to get the ball to Robert Johnson a little bit more on this drive.
That was the first punt of the game. Rivera goes in motion, and Patterson fires it outside again, low and away to the sideline to Al Dillapre Sr. I've seen a lot of games this week, and Scar Patterson has been the best outside the numbers.
Yeah, doing a great job. That's now the 4th receiver and target for this Canton Classics offense. Al Dillapre Sr. with his first target, 12 yards on that play. And Canton's looking like they're putting the ball right back into Scar Patterson's hands, and I don't blame him. 6 or 7 on the game so far, 79 yards. He's playing pretty good so far tonight.
6:40 to go in the first half. Robert Johnson takes the handoff, picks up 6. That'll set up a 2nd down and 4 for these Classics.
And I'll tell you what, Cam, this game's kind of going as what we were expecting. As you mentioned earlier, just a little gritty, and just both teams grinding for every yard. And Canton find themselves up early. Charleston's defense has to step up here to prevent this from being a 2-score ball game.
Robert Johnson, nothing doing there as that play was completely blown up front. Anthony Robertson having himself a night, forces a 3rd down.
It's just great job winning the battle in the trenches from this defensive front.
5:50 to go in the first half. Canton 14, Charleston 7. As Scar Patterson hit as he threw, and the pass is still caught, double coverage. Al Dillapre Sr. right at midfield. Hauls in that reception. That was a pretty dime.
Absolutely. And how about that, Scar Patterson? You got defenders swarming you. To be able to throw it up there in double coverage, great job from Al Dillapre Sr. to come down with that ball.
So first down for Canton. Patterson 7 of 8, 91 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. QBR of 114. As you mentioned earlier, Paul, 5 different players with receptions already so far for Canton tonight. Robert Johnson's been shut down, 15 yards on 10 carries. This time they'll hand it to Rivera, and he'll pick up a few. But Charleston's run defense has been very impressive in the first half, despite trailing by 7.
Absolutely, and everyone on the Charleston defense is stepping up. You have 8 different players with a tackle so far, and it is just showing to be a total group effort to stop Robert Johnson.
Halfway through the second quarter. Canton's off to a good start. Charleston trying to avoid 1-4. As mentioned earlier, they played 4 of their first 5 games on the road. They'll have plenty at home coming up as Robert Johnson gets stuffed. I think if Charleston could get out of this very rough start to their schedule, Paul, with a 2-3 record, I think they'd be pretty pleased with all those home games still left on the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, extremely tough opening schedule for them. Their defense hasn't been playing too great, but playing great tonight, and they're trying to get their second win of the season here tonight on Monday night.
Patterson rolling left. He's got a wide open twin screw inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. First down for Canton as Patterson continues to deliver.
What a beautiful catch there from twin screw, one-handed grab. Scar Patterson throwing it up there. A little powerful throw there, but twin screw doing a great job. 73 yards so far tonight. Incredible play there and an incredible catch there from twin screw.
3 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the first half, and Charleston a bit on their heels, down 14-7. Robert Johnson, a race for the pylon. Jack Brown takes a poor angle, and Robert Johnson is in again. 20-7 Canton.
Wow, the hat trick for Robert Johnson. He is answering the call so far tonight for Canton. Not necessarily getting a lot of yards, but getting the touchdowns when they count. That's his 3rd one of the ball game, as Canton has a chance to make it a 21-7 ball game.
Rob M's on to kick the extra point. Classics have to love how they played in the first half. That kick is good. 21-7 now, 8-play, 81-yard drive for Canton. Brew Kettle of Canton, Ohio, located in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Village, is unleashing a tidal wave of Oktoberfest cheer with their latest creation, aptly named Oktoberfest beer. As the leaves turn a jealous shade of amber, this beer bursts onto the scene with all the flair of a Bavarian festival. So grab your pals, throw on your feathered hat, and get ready to toast to a pint of pure October magic. It's time to let the Octo festivities begin. On tap now at the Brew Kettle, the official home of the Canton Classics. You know what? Sometimes you read a read 5 times and you think you got it, but they come up and get you, Paul.
Oh, I bet, and that's a mouthful of words to get out there. You did a great job.
When I get to Brew Kettle, it's Davius Reed takes a toss down the 40, midfield. Davius Reed out of the backfield. Charleston giving a little wrinkle as Reed gets all the way into scoring position. Wow, what a shocker there from Charleston to get him back in this thing.
What a great play. Just stopping us with what we were talking about. Davius Reed getting the toss out of the backfield, the receiver just showing his speed there, and you see Evan Lacey coming out of nowhere to be able to bring him down. Wow, what a play there, Cam.
Anyway, what I was saying is when I get back to Ohio, because I didn't get to visit Canton the first time around, you got to get to the Brew Kettle, man.
Absolutely.
Place looks amazing. Huge supporter of the Classics, and oh man, can't wait to watch an SFL game there one day. As that pass is caught by Reed, first down to the 16-yard line.
Back-to-back plays there from Reed, making play after play. When you have someone that's playing as good as he is right now, I can see exactly why John Lakeman's looking his way. And after the last few drives, kind of dulled down for the Charleston offense.
Look at that.
Doing a great job here. Yeah, how about that? 50 rushing yards, 47 receiving yards, 97 all-purpose yards from Reed. Just having himself a game.
That's a great graphic, and I love that John Lakeman went right back to Reed after he had that long run as Hoagland gets bottled up for no gain. Both run defenses have been splendid.
They sure have, Cam, and both of these defenses, if you're Charleston, you're allowing 38.3 per game. The defense is playing good. They're hurting with these turnovers on offense that are leading to points scored on them on defense.
Oh, Lakeman's pass just a touch high for Warner. He almost snagged it. Bang, bang, hit in the end zone. Nice play from Canton's defense. Good enough look at it. Lacey.
And yeah, it's Lacey once more for just stepping up, making another big-time play, and that's what big-time players do, Cam. They go out there every weekend in the SFL, go out onto the field and make a play.
2:15 to go in the first half, and Lakeman's going empty. He's 8 of 13 to start. Charleston's down 14. They need points. Canton's bringing 6, and that pass is incomplete. Nice coverage on Reed down the field. It'll set up a 4th down, and Charleston will have to settle for 3.
And it looks like Reed is asking the ref where the flag was on that play. Trying to get a flag there and get a first down for his team. Ref not falling for the bait. We're going to see a field goal opportunity from Charleston here as they try to make this a 21-10 ball game.
I haven't wanted to jinx it all night. The refs have been pretty quiet, which has been nice. As Brad Brechet's kick is on its way and good. With a slight breeze to the left, 6-play, 63-yard drive, 21-10 is your new score, as at least Charleston gets something off that drive. Now we'll see how Canton's 2-minute offense is with 2:08 and 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and I'm sure Charleston was looking to put 7 points up on the board on that drive, but to come out of that drive and get 3 points, it's only an 11-point ball game. Still a whole second half of football to play, but most importantly is this drive right here for Charleston's defense to try to get Canton off of the field.
Twinscrew on the return out past the 30, and Mike Twinscrew continues his outstanding performance tonight. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Chris Curtis, a.k.a. I Demand Nicknames Now, and Tyler Falk, a.k.a. I'll Take What I Can Get. Recap of a splendid first half in Canton. What has gone wrong with Charleston's defense so far this season, and one of the SFL's own realizes a dream. That and more on the APM Music Halftime Report. I'm telling you, it's getting ridiculous out here, Paul. You start something very lighthearted and very funny, and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm going to tell you what you're going to call me this way. It's ridiculous.
And I'm telling you, I don't know how you do it. All these different nicknames every week. I've heard after got to be 16 or so weeks, I've heard maybe the same nickname repeated once, if that.
It's a struggle.
Extremely impressive job.
You know what else is a struggle? This run game. This run game has been a struggle. Shockingly, Robert Johnson has been held in check. 2-minute warning. Canton gets 1 run out of this drive. We'll see if they can turn anything into points. 21-10, Canton on top here on the Monday Night Spectacular on SFL YouTube.
If I'm Scar Patterson here, Cam, I'm looking right for Mike Twinscrew. Already has 73 yards on 3 receptions, leading receiver for the Classics offense. I'd be going right back to him.
Robert Johnson picked up, thrown down. That's a 3-yard gain. It kind of feels like Canton's testing the waters here. Don't want to give Charleston the ball back with too much time on the clock.
And so far tonight, Cam, Canton 6 for 7 on 3rd down.
Wow.
A chance here to make it 7 for 8 as the clock continues to dwindle down in this first half.
Charleston's 3rd down defense continuing to struggle. 90 seconds to go. Patterson looking for a first down. Charleston bringing the blitz. That pass is incomplete. And Charleston a bit lucky there. They went man coverage. If Al Dillapre Sr. catches that, that might be a touchdown. Instead, Charleston's going to get a chance at more points before the half.
Absolutely, and it is a much-needed stop for this Charleston Predators defense, who has struggled so far this season. Doing a great job getting Scar Patterson and offense off of the field. With 1 minute and 25 seconds left, Charleston's looking to get 7 points here.
What a huge punt from Canton. That was crazy. He put a leg to that. Where did he punt that? He punted that from his own 23-yard line. That was a 60-yard punt in the air. That was wild. Totally flipped the field position.
Absolutely, and pushing Charleston back even further than what could have been. Great job there. I know Cliff Allen's out there. He's proud of that punt right there.
Charles Brown, Lord have mercy. Charleston back at their own 24 as Canton protects a 21-10 lead heading into half. This is a handoff to Nick Hoagland, and Hoagland will pick up 8. And like Canton, Charleston just testing the waters a bit. They don't want to make a grave mistake this late in the half.
Yeah, just trying to get a few yards here. As you said, just kind of testing the waters, seeing what the Classics defense is going to allow them. And we're going to see here 2nd and 2 for this Predators offense.
Lakeman goes under center. It's Murphy out wide. Terrell Sutherland puts a man on the ground. Gets out of the 38, and now what is Charleston going to do? They'll call a timeout now that they have a fresh set of downs.
Terrell Sutherland throwing a defender off of him there. That's a big man run there from the fullback. As Charleston taking a timeout, let's see here if Lakeman's going to try to get a little bit more aggressive here and try to take a deeper shot.
Not a single run of double-digit yardage today. The longest run is still 8 for either team. Lakeman to pass, dumps it off short. Warner, that is not the play. That's a loss of 1. Charleston will regroup, but yeah, that was not what they were looking for right there with 45 seconds left.
Yeah, no, great job there from Frank Burns. Coverage there, making a nice tackle there and forcing the Predators to take their second time out of the half.
Oh, yeah, Davius, my bad, Gerald, you're right. Gerald Smith and Greg Soto on a stats truck. The Davius Reed run was over 50 yards, just not listed in our stat sheet since he's a wide receiver. That pass falls incomplete. Connor Darien in coverage, and that'll set up a 3rd down and long, and neither team wants to get any points in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I know Canton's offense has been pretty good on 3rd down, but Charleston's offense not too shabby either. 4 for 6 in this first half, so they're going to see here if they're going to be able to go 5 for 7 and continue this drive.
They've gone empty quite a bit here tonight against a 3-man rush. That pass is caught. Led Davius Reed beautifully. That is the final timeout for Charleston. So they're going to have to be smart about some play calling. They got to get some more stuff to the sideline, but that may have been Lakeman's best pass of the night.
Absolutely, and it was a great read and an even better throw to find the open zone there in the defense and putting it right on the numbers for his receiver.
So Charleston out of timeouts. Remember, you cannot rush the field goal unit on the field. Lakeman is clobbered in the backfield. I think that was LL Volt.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing for Charleston. It stops the clock. You don't take a sack. Your quarterback gets pressure, but to be able to stop the clock with 0 timeouts is not a bad thing for the Predators.
3 receivers now for Lakeman, 10 of 18. Lakeman against a 4-man rush. D, drop back, fires down the field. Warner dropped it! Oh, that could have gotten him near field goal range, or at least Hail Mary range. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Warner not able to bring that one in, and I'm sure he's wishing that he could get that one back. After 4 receptions so far, only has 28 yards, unable to increase that stat line and get his offense closer in the field goal range.
Empty 5 wide, 3rd down and 10. Canton going to send a linebacker. They bring 5. Quick throw from Lakeman. Got to get out of bounds. Murphy, and he does. First down, near field goal range. Brian Murphy, what a heads-up play to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Absolutely. High IQ there from Brian Murphy. You know your team has no timeouts. You run a crisp route, catch a nicely thrown ball, get out of bounds as Charleston is creeping into field goal territory. They have 21 seconds left, no timeouts. Let's see what's going to happen.
Lakeman empty backfield. 21 seconds left. Charleston's got to be careful with this, Paul. If they complete anything inbounds, they're going to be in some trouble.
Absolutely.
Lakeman looking. Incomplete. Blessing in disguise as Rockefeller nearly took that one away. Still the 3 tackles from his from early on in the first quarter now adds a pass deflection to his name.
Yeah, Rockefeller wishing he could have snagged that one, but John Lakeman, on the other hand, thankful that that was not a turnover. As we see 2nd and 10 here, Charleston still with 18 seconds left to put points up on the board.
I think they're probably still outside of field goal range if the wind is any indicator from that punt from Brown earlier in the quarter. Lakeman's pass, tipped over the air, nearly intercepted. Joshua Durr definitely would have shut the door. Now there's 14 seconds left in the longest 2 minutes of the season.
Joshua Durr, the 34th overall pick in this rookie draft, unable to bring that one down. A little bit of a tip drill, but great coverage there from Durr as we see 3rd and 10 for Charleston.
Lakeman's going to hand it off to Sutherland, and that's going to end the half. Just a give-up play there, Paul. Just nothing working, and Charles. You know what I think that was? I think that was, Paul, Charleston deciding, you know what? Instead of throwing an incompletion, instead of throwing an interception and losing momentum or giving them a chance at a pick 6, let's just go into the half. We've had enough of this. That's what that looked like, and we've reached your SFL on YouTube 4K23 halftime segment. Here's some snapshots. What'd you think of that ending, Paul?
Oh, man, I think they did start to get some momentum there, but got to put trust and faith into your coaches going into halftime, make some changes, and make some second half game plans and try to switch it up a little bit on an extremely impressive Canton Classics defense, only allowing 10 points for Charleston in that first half.
There's a look at your defensive numbers there from Canton. 29 tackles, just to showcase to you how often they were on the field. A sack and a pick. Robert Johnson's your player of the half at 1.8 yards a carry. But the crazy thing is that he's got 3 of the game's 4 touchdowns. So how could he not be your player of the half? 14 carries, 24 yards. Canton leads 21-10 at the break. Now, let's send it back to SFL Studios for your APM Music Halftime Report with Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk.
There we are. Haha. And with Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis. Welcome into the APM Music Halftime Report. It is a Canton lead over Charleston in this football game. And Tyler, I want to touch base on this first half and what you saw. But that was a bit of a bungle on the clock management at the very end of that first half. Talk me through that as well as the rest of what you saw.
Well, that certainly wasn't a splendid way to end the half, if I do say so myself. Not a splendid way to start the you muted, bro. You know, before we get to the end of the half, that we gotta give props to Dave Axis, unable to be with the program later tonight. Usually, Axis After Dark will take place after our Monday night spectacular games. Due to festivities, he will not be there tonight, and so we have to incorporate it somehow. It happened on this week in the SFL, and now you get in the act, Curtis, so appreciate you. All right, back to the game at hand now, should we? So, besides the one play, I like what Charleston's offense is doing. They are spreading the ball around and trying to literally get everyone involved, wide receivers in the running game included. You cannot fault this offense for the longest period for sans one play. You cannot fault this offense for trying to throw everything and even the kitchen sink at Canton tonight. So yes, they're down by 11, but let's give them props for Lakeman spreading the ball around. He's got Adobe with a couple targets, Reed with 8 targets, Warner with 8 targets, and Murphy with 4. 3 of those players receiving catches, and then of course 4 different members in the running game for Charleston tonight. For Canton, it has been a very consistent passing game for Scar Patterson. 8 of 10 tonight, 80% completion percentage. He has had a solid game, which by and large has really set the offense up for Robert Johnson to just knock home 3 easy scores. He hasn't had a typical night, which we're used to seeing from Robert Johnson in all the seasons that he has been in the league, but he's been put in good spots. We talk a lot, and especially massive credit should go out to Evan Lacey for setting up inside the 5-yard line and having Johnson punch it in. So 7 of these points don't happen without Lacey, for sure. But Kent's doing his job of just maintaining course. Charleston having just one or two bad things go their way. From all intents and purposes, a solid game plan on offense.
Yeah, that said, I mean, Charleston, reminder, they came into this game with the 8th ranked offense in the SFL. They've gone up against a brick wall in Canton. There's no wonder why they're trying to throw everything they have and the kitchen sink at Canton. Canton handling it pretty well, but this game was very close to a 1-possession game at the break. A lot of football left. Well, let's talk about let's call it a bugaboo on the Charleston side of the football and talk about their defense. Going into this, one of the bottom-ranked defenses in the league, what have you seen from them that has caused such a disfiguration on the defensive side of the ball against Canton and against others?
Well, the couple of the biggest talking points, especially in Charleston's history, has been their run defense for maybe all but a couple seasons, near the back of the pack in terms when it comes to run defense. But that really, besides goal line situations, which are tough to defend in general, besides that, they have done a solid job of really limiting Robert Johnson on the ground today. 14 attempts for Robert Johnson, only 24 yards, averaging only a $1.7 a carry on the ground. But unfortunately for Charleston, these last three seasons and coming into season 21, the passing defense has rapidly declined. They went from having the best passing defense, only allowing 212 passing yards on average a game, to the last 2 seasons averaging over 280 yards in seasons 20 and 19 and averaging 300 yards against in season 18. So we take a look at situational based football in this regard. We take a look at what Kent's been able to do. Only 10 passes from Scar Patterson. That comes down to being put in a terrible situation by your own offense, and for far and few between, one of the blemishes on the record, but it's cost them 7 points. And I've also got to take a look at where Charleston has been all season long, and that has been on the road, and that takes a mental toll on the players and coaches, even in this league. It takes a toll on a team because you're not able to get the crowd behind you fully. You're not able to be at home and get the fans behind you. We take a look at what Canton's been able to do tonight here at Fatherhood Festival Field and really be behind their team. Not just here on the airwaves, but on the field as well. And it shows what being at home can do for a team. It adds confidence, it's adds drive, and unfortunately Charleston just hasn't been able to feel that. We might see a completely different Charleston team in the second half of their season.
Yeah, that very well could be a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde action as this team starts to figure out the new era of the SFL. This last segment, it was definitely a last minute thing, and I have to give some shout outs here because this was an incredible moment. It gave me goosebumps this last weekend. One of the SFL's own, Mike Torillo, who landed a job as the lead play-by-play commentator for Bethune-Cookman University in D1 college football this last offseason, and had his first call with BCU traveling to Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. It's the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. This audio and video coming up, I want you to just hear and feel the goosebumps with me as Mike Torillo expands into horizons which the SFL has not seen yet. Cam, go ahead.
Hennigan claps his hands, takes the snap against the four-man rush.
Batted
The ball
away.
intercepted. It's intercepted by Amari Jones. He's running to the 50, down the left sideline 40. He makes the man miss to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Put it
Touchdown
on
pass.
the board. Touchdown Bethune-Cookman. Touchdown Maroon and Gold. This time it will count. There are no flags.
Effort. You got to have effort. You got to play fast. You got to play smart. And you got to be aggressive. And that's what Coach Woody teaches.
Amari Jones batted the pass up in the air at the line of scrimmage, caught his own batted ball, and raced 80 yards the other way for the Maroon and Gold touchdown.
Finally got.
That is video courtesy of ESPN Plus, audio courtesy of the Cat Eye Network on YouTube, and Daryl Luttrell, his color commentator on the call as well. But that gives a sense of pride that not only does the broadcast team feel in its entirety, but I'm sure everyone who has heard Mike call literally at this point hundreds of SFL games, that's got to give you some goosebumps as well. Tyler, talk about what that felt like to you, seeing and hearing that for the first time.
I mean, it shows that Mike's determination, his persistence, and his outright work ethic gets to be displayed, not just because we already know here in the SFL how great Michael Torillo is as a play-by-play broadcaster, but now being put on a national spotlight even greater than our reach, being shown to the general public at large. What a fantastic broadcaster he has become, and what he continues to be. Just fantastic. We can't be more proud and happy for Michael Torillo and what he has been able to come. It shows that for the rest of us broadcasters here that are broadcasting weekend in, weekend out, there is a possibility, and now we have pedigree. We talk about coaching pedigree and what type of broadcaster or what type of coaches get sent to other different spots in the league to become their own legacies and legends. This is the first great stepping stone for the SFL broadcast team in its history. We get to be on national television calling college football games, and for Michael Torillo, it's the start of something incredible. Last time I checked, is that footage, or the original footage that was brought to our attention, was brought to us by Barstool
Gambling.
Barstool Gambling on X, I guess Twitter, but we're gonna call it Twitter from now on. But 50,000 views last time I checked, and still rising. Just phenomenal. Congratulations, Michael Torillo.
Yeah, take nothing away from Mike. We can take credit as the SFL broadcast team all we want, but Mike is the one who made that happen, and just very proud that he got to start here. So that's awesome. Give him some congratulations when you see him in chat or around the SFL community, because that man deserves every bit of what is coming to him, and could not be happier for our friend and the SFL Hall of Famer, Mike Torillo. That said, we've got more football on the horizon from Family Festival Field. 21-10, the Classics over the Charleston Predators on the Monday Night Spectacular on SFL's YouTube. Stay right with us. Cam and Paul on the other side.
Welcome back to Fatherhood Festival Field alongside Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine. Thank you, Chris Curtis and Michael Torillo. Back at studios as Al Delapre returns, or Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk It's obviously not my strongest performance of the week, but Canton takes the kickoff back, Paul, up by 11. Really, the big difference in that first half was Evan Lacey's interception that resulted in a touchdown. That really flipped the field, flipped maybe 10 points on its head for Canton, and they have an 11-point lead.
For sure. Evan Lacey making a great interception in this first half has helped his team come out to an 11-point lead after one half of football, and we have 2 more quarters to figure out who's going to be leaving this stadium with a victory in the win column.
All right, video, $20 super check. Congrats to one of the SFL's own, Michael Torillo's super job. How much for an autograph? Apparently $20. Have to push that Torillo's way and make sure that gets into his account. Robert Johnson, 15 carries, 31 yards, 3 touchdowns. Unusual stat line, but it works. Just getting started here in the second half after a 7-yard run from Robert Johnson gets us going. Robert Johnson to the outside, breaks a tackle. Now Robert Johnson into the open field for the first time tonight. He's got a first down past midfield, and Canton has a fresh set of downs.
And what a run there from Robert Johnson, only averaging 2.1 yards per carry all in the first half, and coming out with his first drive of the second half, or first run of the second half for 26 yards. Oh boy, Charleston is on their heels already in this second half as it coming down 11 points, and Robert Johnson is someone that they have been doing a great job at limiting so far tonight. But wow, what a great run there from Robert Johnson.
9:05 to go in the third, and already Canton is off to a hot start coming out of the locker room break. The extended break here on Monday Night Football is Kane Hunter gets his first carry, and Canton really mixing things up now on the ground. That's a 6-yard gain.
Absolutely, and after a 26-yard run from Johnson, Kane Hunter coming in, allowing Robert Johnson to get a breather here on that play, and picks up 6 yards in doing so.
8:35 to go in the third. Scar Patterson under center. 8 in the box for Charleston. They'll give it off, and Robert Johnson is put down in the backfield so fast that Rivera didn't even have a chance to get a block up. 3rd and 6.
It's a big defensive play there, just getting into the backfield as fast as the defense did there on that play, forcing a loss of a couple yards. 3rd and 6 here for Canton, who has been exceptional so far on 3rd downs.
3rd TFL for Charleston, but this has been where they have struggled. Patterson sacked! Sacked by Thomas Matthews, the first sack of the game for Charleston, and they take Canton out of field goal range just like that.
How about that from Thomas Matthews, 2nd sack on the season, and what a time for it to happen. Getting after the quarterback, juking out the defender there, nice little move there, and wow, we're going to see 4th and 12 here for Canton, and this Charleston defense coming out hot here in this second half.
Man, they needed that because it was looking like Canton was going to get all the way down the field, score a touchdown, and really blow this game wide open. But instead, Charleston's defense, just in the nick of time, stands up and stands tall. That's Ricky Spider on the kick return for Charleston. They will start from their own 14. Field position still definitely in favor of the Classics right now.
Absolutely. Canton, with the help of Evan Lacey, flipping the field position earlier in the ball game, has forced Charleston into some tricky situations here, starting deep into their own territory.
Laidman going to start the second half off with a check down to Sutherland. Sutherland is able to get away. Terrell Sutherland still on his feet, turns nothing into 8 yards. Impressive play from the fullback.
What a run after that catch there from Sutherland. It looked like he was about to lose 2 or 3 yards, but getting it outside, turning the jets on, and able to pick up 8 yards on that play.
7:10 to go in the third. Charleston down 11. They're fighting. Hand off. Sutherland going to be short of the first down. We have 82 current viewers. We have 25 likes. You know what to do. If you're liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action. Help the channel grow through your viewership. 3rd and 1 for the Preds. They are 6 for 9 on 3rd down, but they were 3 for 3 in that first quarter. They've been struggling since. Just a touch. 3rd and short. Sutherland. Did he get it? They give it to him.
Got there.
Woo, that was close.
Oh, absolutely. And getting the ball right back into the hands of Terrell Sutherland. Having a pretty solid game so far. Extending this drive. And all game long, Charleston's best starting position was from their own 32-yard line, and that was on the opening drive. Haven't been anywhere close since then.
Hand off again. Haven't seen much of Saren Storm tonight. Nick Hoagland with the touch. That's Hoagland's 7th carry. Sutherland with 9. Storm just 2 touches for 9 yards.
Yeah, pretty efficient 2 carries from Saren Storm, 4.5 yards per carry. But you got Terrell Sutherland playing pretty good. Nick Hoagland, you know what he brings to the table. Seeing a little lighter workload from Storm tonight.
Storm is in the backfield now. Man coverage here for Canton. Lakeman going to drop the throw. Lakeman with pressure off his left. That pass looking for Warner. Incomplete as LL Volt was applying more pressure.
Another great play and great coverage there from Frank Bernstein. Really stepping up for this defense. When you have defensive backs like Evan Lacey, Bernstein, rookie Joshua Durr, Kanye Rockefeller, it makes for a extremely tough task for any offense in the league.
Brian Murphy moves back inside here out of the empty. Murphy's going to run a route. 5-man rush. Lakeman fires. Intercepted. And Canton takes it back the other way. King Jamal with the interception to go along with 7 tackles and a deflection. And John Lakeman quietly is now under 50% passing, the league's top passer this season with just 131 yards.
Just highlights exceptional coverage there from King Jamal. As you mentioned, 7 tackles. Got a pass deflection to add on to that. Now you have a interception, 2nd turnover for your defense. It's showing here that these turnovers are what is the difference in this game.
3rd and long offense for Charleston has been rough. Canton winning this game on 1st and 2nd down, forcing them into some not so great situations. Now the Classics finally trying to deliver some points here in the 3rd. Robert Johnson takes the handoff and is wrapped up from behind. That's Gino McFly's 4th tackle after a 4-yard gain.
Robert Johnson now up to 59 yards on 18 rushes, averaging 3.3 after that long of 26 on that last drive. Bumping the average up a little bit, but still this Predators defense has done a pretty solid job of limiting Johnson outside of that 26-yard rush and the goal line touchdowns that he's been getting.
2nd and 6. This is Rivera, and again McFly makes the stop for no gain. That'll set up Canton with a 3rd down, and this will be our 21st 3rd down of this game. Both defenses still playing strong.
Absolutely. Both teams putting it all out there on the line. Both teams want to leave here tonight with a win, and they're really just playing their hearts out here tonight.
Patterson wide open to Mike Twinscrew. Touchdown. Mike says, take that for your defensive narrative.
Mike Twinscrew posing for the camera there. Told him to take some flicks while you're at it. 4th catch for Twinscrew, 98 yards with a touchdown to add. Beautiful read there from Scar, finding a wide open Mike Twinscrew for 6.
That goes for 40. Twinscrew now 98 yards on 4 catches. And Scar Patterson tonight, 9 of 11. 157 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, as Charleston's defense put in another unfortunate situation. That's the 2nd touchdown drive for Canton tonight that has started in Charleston territory, and they've opened things up now 28-10.
Yeah, and both of them coming off of interceptions, and This is exactly why this Canton Classics defense is always one of the most feared in the league. When you have a total team effort through 4 games only allowing 24.5 points, you're the 8th best team in defense in the league, just proves to be an enormously tall task for any offense.
Adobe on the return up to the 26-yard line. We saw a team earlier this week come back from 28-6 at the half. It was 28-3 in the second quarter. It was 28-6 at the half. This is 28-10 halfway through the third. So not improbable, but Charleston's got to mix things up on first and second down, keep them ahead of the sticks. Third and long has not been their friend.
Absolutely. There's still a ton of time left in this game. But as you mentioned, you just kind of have to switch it up a little bit and try to catch this red-hot defense off guard on one of these plays.
Sutherland goes in motion. Lakeman with a pass, checks it down to Reed. That's a pickup of 6, and love that play. Go back to your number 1 player tonight with over 110 all-purpose yards now. That's almost what everyone else has combined.
And Davius Reed with 10 targets so far tonight. So only came up with 5 receptions, but John Lakeman is definitely looking Reed's way tonight.
Hoagland's got a first down. Hoagland breaks the tackle. Hoagland's in the open field. Leaves Rockefeller in the dust. Michael is too slow, and Hoagland's going to score. Oh, did Charleston need that big time?
What a run from Hoagland there. Right when your team needs it the most, to be able to break a tackle, and then it's off to the races. Man, Hoagland went flying down the field, putting 6 points up for his team, who needed somebody to step up and make a play on this drive.
Man, Rockefeller, he had him. Last line of defense at safety, just couldn't bring him down. And after a night where the Charleston run game, outside of the Davius Reed 50-yard run, their backfield had produced 61 total yards. That goes for 68, and Charleston's right back in it.
How about that? After Canton creates a turnover, goes down the field and scores, to respond with a great run from Nick Hoagland there to make it an 11-point game once more. A little less than 4 minutes left in this third quarter. They still have a whole fourth quarter left to play.
And now the people that took the under are sweating a little bit. Another touchdown in this one seals that fate. We haven't talked about it yet tonight, Paul, but it's Canton's first Monday night primetime game. Fatherhood Festival Field in the spotlight tonight. Gorgeous, gorgeous facility.
Absolutely. Just all the little details that are around. Just a beautiful stadium that they have here. And it's a classic around here in the SFL.
Again, Rivera in motion. He has been busy in the backfield. They are moving him all over the field. Rivera is covered this time. I thought it was going to be a pick. That was beautifully read by Sam Blotner, who had Rivera in man coverage. And, 5 tackles and now a couple pass deflections for Sam.
What a play there from Blotner, and Sam trying to make it a 3-point ball game for his team. Unable to get that interception, but great coverage there, man-to-man.
3:50 to go in the third. Beautiful play from Charleston's defense. Now a toss out to Rivera, and Rivera's got 6 yards on the play. That's his 4th touch of the evening. And 3rd and 4 is what Canton will be faced with next.
And Rivera, after being busy all night in motion, getting the run there, getting a hard-fought 6 yards there, setting up a 3rd and 4 here for Canton.
3rd down, Delapree Sr. in motion. He's got 2 catches for 26 yards, but Twin Screw's been the main target. Jack Wall just 1 catch for 5. They're going to run it. Handoff Johnson. Nice block on the left side. Taking down the defender. Robert Johnson near midfield. Wrapped up by Ryan, but it was John Stamengo, who got blocked out of your picture.
That's a touchdown saving tackle there, as Robert Johnson just able to get outside of the defenders. Tried to make a little spin move there, but unable to beat the defender, as Robert Johnson's day starting to look a little bit better, now up to 4.4 yards per rush.
Al Dillapre Sr. comes in motion, gets a stellar block to free Johnson for the first down. Back to Rojo, and he's got 6 more. Yeah, Charleston's defense looking a little bit more worn down in this second half. They have to find a way to get a turnover, force a field goal, keep it a 2-score game.
Absolutely, and it's just showing that Canton's knew that they had to come out on all cylinders offensively, and they are putting the points up and limiting the points defensively as well.
Johnson, ooh, they're going to give him a first down. I don't think it's worth a challenge for Charleston, because Johnson's picking up 4.5 yards a carry, but yeah, they're going to keep that flag in the pocket.
And try and hold on to those timeouts is something that they're going to need here to get back into this ball game, as the time is dwindling here in the third quarter.
Johnson got some great blocks off the right side. Another first down. Canton punishing Charleston on this possession.
And this drive has been all Robert Johnson, just putting the ball right back. Yeah, look at that down the field blocking, as Robert Johnson just puts his shoulder down and fights for every yard. Nice first down run there from Robert Johnson. Now over the century mark.
6 in the box for Charleston, a little bit light, but Scar's going to throw this time. Patterson down the field. Oh, nice little wrinkle. Oh, Toriano Rivera, get out of here inside the 10, down to the 7. This is old school football here for the Classics.
Old school smash mouth football there. Nice catch and run from Rivera. We're going to see that again. He catches this ball here, sees 2 defenders, throws them off of him, throws another defender off of him, and tries to get into the end zone. Great play there from Rivera, showing his versatile skill set here tonight.
First and goal for Canton. This is how you respond to a touchdown from your opponent. Trying to get back up by 18. 3 to play. Johnson down to about the 2-yard line. Under a minute to go in the third.
Robert Johnson almost with his 4th rushing touchdown in this ball game. You got 2nd and goal here for the Canton Classics. After a drive that Robert Johnson's having, I don't see why they wouldn't go right back to him.
Charleston defense is gassed. Canton playing bully ball on this drive, trying to make a statement. Robert Johnson got another one. That's number 4. And Canton's back up by 17.
Robert Johnson with his 4th touchdown tonight, making it clear that he came out here and wanted to win. And the Charleston Predators defense, just no real answer for Robert Johnson here in the second half. They held him in the first half, but as the game's gone on, just getting a little tired out there, and with these long drives, just going to be a tough task at hands to try to bring Robert Johnson down.
And we hit the over, and you know what, Paul, if you're Charleston's offense, you just got to go out there and do it again, right? Like
Absolutely.
That's all you can do. That to give your defense props. That may have been Canton's best drive of the season. 9-play, 80-yard drive. They dominated. Now available, free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Ricky Spider on the return. Not much there, out of the 25-yard line. Well, John Lakeman, you're still down 18.
Yeah, going to need a strong finish here from Lakeman and company, as they find themselves down a few possessions here. Still have a quarter of football left, but the time is ticking, and they're going to have to score quickly once more on this drive.
Oh, Hoagland is put down. Kevin Brackett, a 2-yard loss. That's the last thing Charleston needed.
And we've been saying Kevin Brackett's name a lot, doing a great job all game so far at limiting this Charleston running back committee here of Saren Storm, Nick Hoagland, and Terrell Sutherland.
Will they get a playoff before the quarter? They will. Lakeman dropping a throw, knocked away.
Lacey.
From Adobe, yep. Evan Lacey again has been fantastic for the secondary, and another 3rd and long. Faces Charleston on the other side of this break. Canton 35, Charleston 17. The Classics 1 quarter away from retaking the lead in the North. We'll be right back.
Of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Start of the 4th quarter, Gerald Smith, Greg Soto, Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis, Paul Sarp, Cameron Irvine with you, your Monday Night Spectacular crew for this evening, wrapping up another exciting week of SFL action. Week 7's got 13 games on the docket. Heavy schedules. That 3rd down is incomplete. Lakeman on the ground. He is frustrated. This Canton defense has humbled the league's #1 pass offense tonight, and Charleston will have to punt it away.
For sure, and Charleston now 7 for 14 on 3rd downs. Canton Classics defense has just played phenomenally all night so far and forces another punt and a chance to put more points up on the board.
Deep kick, almost an interference. That was crazy.
That was real close.
That is the rookie on his first return tonight, Andrew Gibson, getting a chance at a return, and he almost got laid out. I don't know how he didn't hit him. That was crazy close.
Yeah, it was really close. And how about this Canton Classics offense, Cam? Has 35 points on the board so far. Their high of the season's only 27 in the game that they played against Motor City in a winning effort.
Oh.
Wow.
Rivera for 7. Go ahead.
To come out and put 35 points on the board is the offense that Canton has seemed to be missing here for the last few seasons. So if their offense can continue to play the way they are playing tonight, they're definitely going to be a team to keep an eye on moving forward.
2nd and 3. Canton just trying to run the clock out here. If Charleston can't get off the field in any kind of way, this game is over. Robert Johnson breaking tackles. He's out of control now. Charleston, nothing they can do about it. Johnson down inside the 20. He got popped at the 12, taking out some frustration, but it has been all Canton in the second half.
Yeah, and it's been mainly all Robert Johnson here in the second half, Cam, as he has yet again another really strong run and just having a second half that any running back would be looking to have here on Monday night.
Look at that. I mean, it wasn't maybe half an hour ago, Paul, that he was under 4 yards a carry. Now he's up to 6.2 yards per carry. This Charleston Predator defense is just gassed.
I believe in the first half had under 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's true. Scar Patterson going to mix it up, finds Al Dillapre Sr. wide open, nearly scored, and that just sets up Robert Johnson for possibly his 5th touchdown of the night.
Yeah, and it looked like Dillapre almost had his first touchdown of the night, but great job switching it up from this offense. Scar Patterson finding Dillapre now for the 3rd time. As you said, just sets Robert Johnson up for number 5.
Man, you know what? I don't think they challenged because they want Johnson to get number 5 because it looked like he scored there. Surprised they didn't challenge. Canton knows they've got it the way they've been playing in this second half. 35-17. Handoff, Robert Johnson. Oh, yeah, there it is. Wow, what a performance for the Canton Classics. They're going to feel good about this one in the morning.
Absolutely, and it's been a whole team effort to get to this point. You're an extra point away from 42 to 17. When you have a running back like Robert Johnson, who's going to be able to score 5 times in a single game for you, put up 155 yards, that's just an incredible stat line to have, and a truly remarkable performance tonight from Robert Johnson.
Canton's going to improve to 3-2, barring some miracle here. And when you look at their upcoming schedule, it's very interesting. They are at Florida next week. Quick turnaround on Saturday, right? So when they're at Florida, that's 3-2 versus 5-0. Now, you want to talk about a statement game.
Absolutely.
That would be Canton's statement game. And then after that, they have a home-and-home with Queen City, who is struggling. Now, the division could totally be flipped on its head if Queen City was to pick up a couple of victories in a favorable matchup. But if Queen City's unable to do that, I mean, Canton could be looking at 5-2 going into their rematch with Motor City. Then they got Atlanta after that. I mean, this is a very favorable schedule coming up for Canton, who's already beaten Motor City this season. They could get hot, especially if they somehow manage to take down Florida next week.
Absolutely, and after watching Canton play tonight, that game against Florida, if they can play the way that they're playing in this game, they have a chance at knocking Florida off. But huge shout out to Florida, who's been playing exceptional themselves this season.
Davius Reed continues to play incredible, now over 150 all-purpose yards, as a nice block pickup right at the end of that play, give Lakeman some time to throw. Charleston, on the other hand, well, they come back home. Boy, do they need it. 3-game homestand, 4 of the next 5. They've got Atlanta, Carolina, and Baltimore coming to Robert Smalls Memorial. So Charleston hoping they can get some home cooking going over the next few weeks, as Lakeman's pass is incomplete. I don't think Murphy even saw the ball.
Yeah, a little bit of another risky throw. We've seen that a few times now from Lakeman, just trying to make something happen, unable to do so. We're going to see here 2nd and 10 for the Predators offense.
.738 left. Benjamin Warner goes in motion. Hasn't been his strongest night tonight. 4 catches for 28 yards, but on 10 targets. He does have a touchdown, though, as Lakeman drops to throw. Lakeman got a first down. Adobe to the Canton 43-yard line. Rockefeller stops him. Charleston moves the sticks.
That's Adobe's first catch in this game. Has been targeted 3 times already earlier, but finally getting a reception there as Lakeman and Adobe, the rest of this offense is trying to make it a little bit closer of a game. About 7 minutes left in this 4th quarter.
Lakeman's pass is intercepted. Wow, just an overthrow. Kanye Rockefeller, head on a swivel, caught that rocket right in his hands. And, boy, it's getting ugly now.
That man is a monster. Kanye Rockefeller threw it right to him on that pass from Lakeman. 3rd interception on the night. And 3rd turnover here for this Canton Classics defense, who has been absolutely playing lockdown, lights out defense.
Can you believe it? Canton, their previous franchise record for points in a game was in a loss. 38 points in a 41-38 loss at Tulsa. Canton has just set their franchise record for points in a game with 42, and it comes in their first Monday night spectacular primetime game ever. Their largest margin of victory in a game previously was just 16, so they could set that record here tonight as well, up 25 right now.
Yeah, what a performance here all around from Canton, setting records for their franchise, just trying to make a statement and trying to put the rest of the league on notice.
Rivera's in motion again. It's just moving them all over the field. Robert Johnson breaks off a tackle, but he's not going to get the first down. Charleston wraps him up. Better be careful. Johnson's going to get hurt. 3rd and 2.
Yeah, the Classics 8 for 11 on third down, and that has been crucial for them offensively, and which has helped them to put 42 points on the board.
Third and 2. Johnson didn't get it, and finally, as Jack Brown wraps him up. Brown, quiet night, just 4 tackles. There's head coach Jacob Clear. Frustrating evening tonight, but his defense does get off the field there, and Canton will punt it away.
And Jack Brown has had enough of Robert Johnson here tonight.
Seriously.
Putting a big hit on him, getting a stop for your team, but it's looking like it's a little too late for this Charleston defense, as we're going to see John Lakeman and company once more.
Spider, there's a flag. I think that's blocking the back. Man, when it rains, it pours for Charleston.
Yeah, it looked like maybe Mark Martin on that one there, Cam. No, it wasn't.
They're going to get a roster rando as Coach Clear is upset. Here's another look at it. Yeah, you can't do that.
And just nothing going in favor of Charleston here on Monday night. We're going to see Lakeman has 3 interceptions tonight. Had 6 coming into the game. Now at 9. It's going to be back to the drawing board here after tonight for this Charleston offense, who's been red hot throwing the ball all season so far.
This blowout broke our 5-game triple-digit viewer streak we had here, Paul, as Hoagland picks up 4. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, Monday nights, from what we've seen, it's either going to be a defensive showing or it's going to be a shootout. Unfortunately, here tonight, we got a little bit more of a lopsided game.
Haven't had many of those this year.
Yeah, I know. That's after last season. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting a lot more close games, Cam.
Like was passed caught by Murphy. This will definitively answer the question that Rob Foraker asked me earlier this week, where he said, do you make games closer for Monday night? Nope. Here's your proof right here.
And I believe word for word your answer was, man, I wish.
Yeah, and it was.
You and me both, Cam. But hey, both teams playing the best to their abilities, and Charleston refusing to give up here as they're trying to score a touchdown here before this game ends.
Nick Hoagland on the carry. They'll get, Warner again targeted, but he just couldn't find the football. Decent placement there, but Evan Lacey's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, Evan Lacey, only 2 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and an interception, but we've called his name at least 6 or 7 times in coverage, and he's played a truly great game all around.
So 3rd down for Lakeman. Canton's been all over this empty package. Lakeman's pass incomplete, although that's definitely a flag. Golly, he got taken to the ground, suplexed on that hit. Who was that out there? That was Darian.
He just got there a little bit too early, as we're going to see highlighted here. Just
holy moly.
Picking the receiver up and throwing him down. Wow.
That's about
what a hit there on Ricky Spider.
That's about the most blatant PI we've seen this season. He just didn't care. Come on, Connor, show a little mercy out there.
Yeah, the rookie Ricky Spider just taking a hit there, trying to make a play for his team, just taking a big hit there on that interference.
Lakeman's pass caught by Reed. He continues his stellar performance. Now 142 all-purpose yards for Reed. Lakeman against a 3-man rush. This time it's Benjamin Warner inside the 30, so Charleston's cooking now. Lakeman's up to 17 of 35, still under 50% with a QBR of 39. Trying to get that up. Lakeman's pass overthrown, and what a play! What a play by Frank Bernstein as Lakeman gets a little too antsy to get the football down the field, and Bernstein just makes an incredible individual effort.
And that's the 4th turnover now for this Classics defense. A beautiful diving interception there from Bernstein. And this Classic secondary is playing on a whole different level tonight. 4 interceptions, 8 passes deflected. You have the #1 passing offense held to 209 passing yards. Just huge credit and shout out to the Classics defense tonight.
The 4th different member of this secondary with an interception tonight, as Patterson hands it off to Rojo to pick up 4. Okay, so next week on the Monday Night Spectacular, Paul, we got a big one. September 11th, Indy at San Diego. The Mavericks going to have this stadium all ready to go for 9/11 military tributes, all that good stuff. San Diego's a big military team. I think they may be wearing some dress blues or something next week, so it's going to be a fun evening. Indianapolis comes to town. Boy, are they going to be desperate to make a statement as well. Indy, San Diego, your Monday Night Spectacular next week.
Yeah, definitely going to be one to look forward to all week long. I know the grounds crew in San Diego is going to have their work cut out for them, as they're going to always be showing one of the nicest looking stadiums in this league. It's just going to be a great game. Going to be awesome to see Indy on Monday night. We saw them a bunch last season, so excited to see them here as they try to get a win over the Mavericks next week, Cam.
Friday Night Football returns next weekend on SFL YouTube starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, Friday football for the first time this season. The Pacific heats up. 2-3 Portland, 3-2 Vancouver, and 3-2 Seattle, all in action in the SFL After Dark 10:15 p.m. Eastern window. Saturday, all 3 unbeatens are in action, including Florida hosting these Classics at 1:15 is Robert Johnson. Oh, man, he may be gone. Robert Johnson, you are ridiculous. Does he have the speed? Does he have it in him? John Stamengo trying to prevent touchdown number 6, and he won't. Touchdown, Robert Johnson. Pour it on him, why don't you?
That's the 6-pack for Robert Johnson right there. Looked like he was a little gassed there at the end, but the defense unable to catch him, as Robert Johnson is just having a more and more impressive game as the time dwindles down. 6 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Wow.
88-yard touchdown. That is the longest, I believe, that is the longest scrimmage play this season. We'll have to check on that. Robert Johnson with the strongest rushing performance of the weekend. It is not even close. The extra point is good, and Canton has just brought fire and fury down on Charleston in this second half. This was an 11-point game at halftime, Paul. It wasn't this bad, and it has gotten real bad.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show that when your defense is out there as long as it is, if you're Charleston, that an offense like Canton, when they're playing the way that they've been playing, it just shows that the defense is going to get tired. And as we saw on that last play from Robert Johnson, they just have not had an answer for him all night, as Robert Johnson, daily fantasy owners are loving his performance tonight. And wow, if you're Charleston, it's got to be tough here to allow a running back to score 6 times on you.
That was the longest play from scrimmage this season, beating Pickler and Richardson throws of 79 yards. So 88-yard touchdown run from Robert Johnson, and that one is going to go down as one of the best plays of the season as Adobe gets a catch. Charleston will hurry to the line.
And after Canton broke their franchise record on the last drive, they make that record a little bit better here now, putting 49 points up, getting close to 50 here for the first time in their franchise history.
Charleston just wants to go home. The schedule makers did not do them any favors with all the road games to start, but the good news is it's a long season, and they still have plenty of time to turn it around. They're only 2 games back in the division, and they still got a bunch of divisional games left to play as Davius Reed makes yet another reception, and we've reached the 2-minute warning. Canton 49, Charleston 17. A stunning blowout here in the first half, here on the Monday night, or in the second half on the Monday Night Spectacular.
And Cam, you got to give credit to the offensive and defensive coordinators for the Canton Classics. Chris Porter offensively and Kanye Rockefeller set a game plan in action, and the team has came out and executed it to perfection. So huge shouts out to Chris Porter and Kanye Rockefeller for the work that they put in this week to result in this performance.
Chris Porter also, that's going to be PI. Chris Porter, I mean, he's been a godsend to this team this season. I mean, he's really brought a coaching style that, how do I say this, Paul? It fits Canton, but it's not what Canton was doing, right? It's similar, but it's different, and they've really figured out how to get Robert Johnson to be the focal point of the offense consistently. And it looked like early on in this game, Charleston had the solutions for him, but it just wasn't to be.
Man, you got to also highlight Scar Patterson, who early on in this game, he was playing great. I believe at one point he was 8 for 9. And when you have a quarterback that's keeping the ball safe, not turning it over, that allows the rushing game to kind of develop as the game goes on. And we saw it firsthand here tonight after Robert Johnson was previously at less than 3 yards a carry, now finds himself averaging 8 yards per carry.
Can Charleston get something to save face here? Pass is to the outside for a 6-yard pickup. That's Ricky Spider's first catch. They've been trying to get him involved. 147 left. By the way, Canton hit the over-under all by themselves. 49.
Ooh, how about that? Wow, man, it's just a great all-around performance. I can't speak highly enough of how the Classics played tonight. Just Charleston with not a single answer here in the second half, because that's kind of where the game kind of fell apart.
Pass caught by Davius Reed. That's a touchdown, Charleston. And Reed puts a touchdown to his resume that includes 10 catches.
Yeah, now outside of Robert Johnson, the next most impressive player that we've seen tonight is Davius Reed. 138 receiving yards on 10 receptions, a touchdown added on, and you can't forget about that 50-yard rush he had earlier on that toss play in the first half.
So you're saying there's a chance, Paul. 49-24.
You never know.
With 1:43 left. Now they just got to worry about not giving up an onside kick touchdown here. Make sure their coverage is good. We saw that once earlier this season.
Strap in your seatbelts, folks.
This right to, oh boy,
man.
big number 50. Oh, and then a face mask on top of it. That is just a frustration penalty.
Absolutely.
That was McFly.
Getting it all out of their system here tonight on Monday night, because it's right back to the grind here this week as they prepare for another game here this upcoming weekend, Cam.
Actually, that was not McFly. That was the same player for Charleston who got called for the block in the back penalty on special teams. That was actually, I think that was Adam Chance, the guard. 6'2", 276 are covering that onside kick if the number is correct. And Robert Johnson still in the game. No mercy as Charleston calls for timeout. It's funny, back in the old days, Paul, why are the backups in? They're giving up too many points. And then now the starters stay in, and everybody goes, why are the starters still in? Take them out. Take them out. It's just, you can't win.
I'll tell you what, Robert Johnson looking for lucky number 7 here.
That would be ridiculous. That would tie the SFL record.
Oh, boy.
Johnson got the first down, and Canton should do the responsible thing and kneel this one out. Charleston avoids further embarrassment. Laura in the chat. I wonder who the call will be for MVP. Yeah, okay.
Gonna have to think about this one. It's gonna be tough analysis here.
That's a class act from Canton there. On the 1 yard line, Charleston out of timeouts. Take the knees. Don't have to rub it in. Got a bunch of records tonight in like 5 different categories. And man, what a performance. Your new leaders in the North.
And Canton's looking to take control of this North Division. Now in the lead, sitting at 3-2. And I'll tell you what, Cam, there's a lot of good 3-2 teams right now, and Canton is proving to be a team that shouldn't be slept on. If they can continue to play this highly on offense, they are going to be a dangerous team the rest of this season.
Thanks to our stat crew tonight, Greg Soto and Gerald Smith. Y'all were phenomenal. The post game coming up with Curtis and Tyler. They'll wrap things up, and I'm sure they'll give a quick glance to the mega slate of 13 games next weekend coming up as well. But Canton's got a big one with Florida on the docket, 3-2 against 5-0. Going to be one of the best games of the weekend, if not the best, as Canton tries to slow down the mighty Florida Storm, who just seem to be getting stronger each and every week. Max Paul and those boys in Fort Lauderdale. Final kneel down for Canton. Rojo, player of the game, right, Paul?
Got to be Rojo, but I also want to highlight the secondary for the Classics defense. Evan Lacey, Frank Bernstein, Kanye Rockefeller, and King Jamal, all with an interception. 4 different players to record an interception. Got to give them credit as well.
Quick look at the final stats before we send it on over to our studio show with Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk. 451 to 466 does not tell the story. Neither do the first downs, but I tell you what, when we go over to average field position and some numbers like that, we're going to see some big things. Look at Canton in the red zone. 5 red zone trips, 5 touchdowns. You can't beat that. Just a dominant performance. Average field position, 41 to 23. There it is. Points off turnovers, 21 to nothing. Almost more points off turnovers than Canton had actual points in this ball game. Robert Johnson, his final numbers as your player of the game, 34 carries for 269 yards. That may be a high in the league this year for, yes, 6 touchdowns and officially an 89-yard touchdown run in the books. For Paul Sarp, Gerald Smith, Greg Soto, and yours truly, Cameron Irvine, this has been a presentation of the SFL. We wrap up our night back at studios with Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk as they put a bow on this route. Canton and Charleston. Take it away, boys.
Well, Tyler, 73 combined points on the board between Canton and Charleston. Unfortunately for Charleston, they were on one side. Most of them are on one side of the scoreboard. Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis, myself, alongside you guys for the post-game show, and 49-24. Canton ends up in front. This was all Canton second half, no doubt about that. This was an 11-point game at the end of the first half, Tyler. What happened?
Ouch is what happened. We're talking about, the running game for Canton just not getting going. They've done a real good job of containing the run game. Only 24 yards for Robert Johnson, only 1.7 yards per carry. Charleston's got a good game plan. They have to do the same thing in the second half. Over 250 rushing yards for Canton in half number 2. It's 3 more touchdowns for Rojo. Mm-hmm. Kane Hunter and Toronto Rivera get in the act a little bit. Charleston they vanished into thin air. They were not the Charleston Predators we were looking.
They were the Charleston Prey.
Yes, very much so. Very
Ouch.
much so in that second half. And it's a tough way to go. You're right in it at the half, and it just doesn't go your way.
Mhm.
It put John Lakeman in so many different field positions and situations where he had to make plays, and that's why we saw him throw 3 interceptions in the final half of play, because he had to. He was trying to get Charleston back in the game. Charleston was just too good tonight. And if we're not, this is definitely not a statement game, but it is definitely a statement of intent from Canton to Florida and to the rest of the league henceforth.
They have become one of the better 3-2 teams in the SFL. You've got Vancouver in that spot. You've got a couple others that are right there on the cusp of doing something really nice with this season. Canton, you said a statement of intent. I'm going to go out and I'm going to say this was a statement rather than a statement of intent. This was a team that had a vision of what they wanted to do, and they executed that vision perfectly. Now, though, things get more difficult for Canton. They go to Florida. They go into the eye to face the Storm in their home ballpark. That is going to be a fun one. Let's preview that one before we go to the rest of the 13 game slate.
So we've got 2 dynamic running backs. Charlie the Bullet Boletsky going up against Rojo, a.k.a. Robert Johnson. That's going to be a phenomenal matchup with the much more improved balanced attack from Florida that makes them look like their former namesake, the Alaska Storm. This is going to be a fun game to watch this week, and that one's going to come up at 1:15 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, September 9th. That one is going to be must-watch football after tonight's display of the run game displayed by Canton tonight, going up against the established run game and running presence of Boletsky and Doyle from Florida. That one now turns into must-watch television.
I'm going to challenge you a little bit here. You and I are going to go rapid fire down this 13 game slate, and I'm going to have you give me 10 words or less to preview this particular game.
Okay.
BDG Hollywood and Atlanta travel to Charleston. Charleston has 1 week to figure out their run game defense issues. What do you got for me?
Hawaiian acronyms trample Charleston's Bray destructed fans sad Atlanta victorious. There's 10 words.
I like it. I said 10 words or less. You don't have to use 10 words. You're good.
You gave me an opportunity and I took it.
Baltimore travels to Motor City to take on the V8s. What do you
got? Baltimore easily.
Okay. All right. Portland at Vancouver. Pacific Division rivals renew.
Boats have trouble in foreign waters. Legion march on.
I like it. Seattle and Las Vegas in Sin City.
Ooh. That's already 3. New spunk, old spunk collide.
I like it. Alamo City and Tulsa in Tulsa.
Ooh, cannons v revolvers in a battle in Oklahoma.
Okay, fair enough. And then Canton and Florida we talked about. How about Jacksonville and Carolina? Carolina trying to bounce back from a rough loss.
Hey. Birds of Prey or the Pride renewed? Will Jacksonville find themselves, and will Carolina recover?
All right, just a couple more. It is LA and Houston. Houston, one of the surprise teams of the league so far.
Ooh, the Cowboy versus the house that Dags and Wilson built. That's going to be an interesting game. Mexico still, it's winless versus lossless. There we go. Winless versus unbeaten.
I skipped one. You got the right one. You did Mexico City, Fort Worth. I'm going to give you LA and Houston now.
Okay. Time to howl at the moon, or is it time for Houston to have no problems?
And Minnesota heading to the Mile High City to take on Denver.
Minnesota recover and find their own moon to yell whatever the Sasquatch yells. I don't know. Maybe it's beef jerky. Who knows?
Do the Dragons keep flying, or do the Corsairs find a way to eke out a win?
Oh boy, Destro and another old and famous team. I say the Corsairs needs to raise the Jolly Roger a little bit higher, otherwise not prevail.
All right, fair enough. Sioux Falls and Arizona at Fatality Field.
Ooh. Birds and scorpions. You often see that in the wild, and so this would be an interesting matchup. Two really good defenses that we'll see in Arizona on Sunday night. So that's a good one if you like defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you and I will be in town for Indianapolis and San Diego on September 11th, the Military Appreciation Night.
That's again one of the nicer organizations that really does military tributes very well. We've got a couple of them here in the league with Alamo City, of course, but I know Dave and company over in San Diego will do a fantastic job. And of course, that's my own organization coming to town, Indianapolis. So it should be a great game, and hopefully we'll give San Diego a run for their money.
Good game, good sport, Tyler Falk. That ends your rapid fire segment on the post-game show. And it ends our night here at the Monday Night Spectacular as well. For the rest of the Monday Night crew, the statisticians, Paul Sarp, along with Cameron Irvine, and for Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night. We will see you next Monday night. After this week in the SFL, it will be the Indianapolis Ramblers taking on the San Diego Mavericks in San Diego. Good night, and we will see you for Week 7 action.